Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming along this morning, this afternoon, this evening. We'll be getting started very soon. Thank you for joining us for today's session. It's going to be an interactive session. We will be having some Mentimeter questions in here. Please also feel free to put comments in the chat. We will be having a panel discussion with some of our educators as well. So we'll be welcoming your questions coming in. So very interactive session. We'd love to hear your thoughts throughout. The session is being recorded. So just be something to be aware if any of you have got your video on and that's not comfortable for you. So we'll just give us another minute or two time to quickly go and grab a drink, perhaps before we make a start. If you'd like to say hello in the chat as well, very welcome to. Say hello to everybody. Tell us where you're from. Well, we will be doing that actually later, but we're very welcome to say hello in the chat as well. See, hello from Morocco, hello from Malaysia, hello everyone from Spain, France, Cyprus, Mexico, Argentina, USA, Romania, Malta, Argentina. Fantastic. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us from all around the world. We'll have a little visual later. There'll be a nice map where we can see where everybody's from. Hello from Greece. Hello. I'm from Pakistan, from Georgia. It's fantastic. Hello, hello, everybody. Nice to meet you all. Nice to see. I can see some of our fee members and national operators. It's very nice to see you here on the chat. I can see some teachers and educators as well on here. It's fantastic.
Hello from Ghana.
And
welcome, Joseph.
I think let's just make we'll make a little bit of a soft start whilst we let everybody else join. So hello everybody, my name is Lee Ray Davis. I am one of the directors for education at FEE. I am going to be chairing this meeting today, and we're here today to hear some amazing stories from teachers, from students and from experts from all around the world about the transformative practices which we have been extending sustainability and climate action from beyond our classrooms and our school grounds out into the wider community. So this webinar as well, it's also going to recognise the outstanding work of our teachers, and we will meet some of them later on in the chat. But we're also here as well. It's a happy birthday for us. It's an anniversary. It's 30 years of Eco Schools and YRE programme. And so we're here as well to celebrate. And we'd like you to join those celebrations as well now by joining our Mentimeter quiz. So if you can have a look on the screen here, you can either scan, if we can put the link in the chat as well, please, that will be great. And we have some questions for you. So if we can go up to the first question, again, like we say, we'll put the link in the chat for you as well. So a nice easy one. As it is our 30th anniversary, what were you doing 30 years ago? Were you even around 30 years ago? Is FEE, it's the Eco Schools programme, older than you are? So let's have a look. Put it please in the response. If you're struggling to access the Menti, please don't worry, you can put it in the chat as well. Wasn't born, was a student. Now, I was a student as well at high school. I just picked environmental studies as well. Pretending to be a Ghostbuster. That's my favourite answer. Excellent. High school didn't even exist. Oh my goodness. Year 6 stats students were excellent. Not alive. Still used shampoo. Excellent. Scouting, fantastic. So you can see here, 2-year-old. We have been around a long time. The Eco Schools programme, we have literally been around for a generation. Most of you, some of you on here could actually have been in an eco school when it first started, in your mother's womb, literally hadn't even been born yet. Well, we are expanding eco schools into the early years sector, but maybe not quite that early. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. We'll give a context of just how far back we're going with our story. If we can go on to the next slide then, please. So, like we said before, where are you joining us from today? So we had it in the chat, but I was a former geography teacher. I love maps. So let's put this on a map. Let's see where you're from. You'll have a little cursor and you can put where you're joining us from today. We have FEE members from over 100 countries around the world. So let's have a look at our distribution, and hello to everybody joining in the chat. So we've got people from, we've got lots from Europe, somebody from South America, Argentina. Great. Few more coming up. So let us know. Let's have a look at that distribution of where people are coming from. Let's see if we get anyone from Japan, China, Australia. It might be a little bit perhaps too late in the day there. Perhaps that's why. That's fabulous. Thank you very much. Lots coming in from kind of Europe and North America. That's brilliant. Thank you much from Ghana as well, Bangladesh, Madrid in the chat. So we've got true global representation today. Thank you very much. Next one, please. So what's your occupation? We're really keen to see where you're joining us from and kind of what you actually do in your role and how eco schools and the other work that we've been doing might be applying to you. So we've got, are you a teacher and educator? Are you a student? Are you working for an NGO? Are you a government representative? Are you a FEE member? Or are you other? If you are an other, can you please put in the chat what that other is, if you could please? So excellent. Look at this, lots of teachers. Wonderful. This is for you, these sessions. This is a thank you as well for all of the work that our educators are doing. So certainly educators dominating it. TVET educator, fantastic. Yeah, secondary school. Climate scientist, fantastic. And Eric, you will be presenting for us as well. So we'll find out more about your role. Executive director, fantastic. A great stretch. And we've got some pupils, fantastic. Okay, if we go on to the next slide then, please. I think this is our last one. Which of our FEE programs are you perhaps currently involved in? You can press more than one option here as well. So are you one of our Eco Schools family, YRE, LEAF, Eco Campus? And instead of putting no, we're not having no, we've got not yet. We're accepting that you'll be joining us later on, especially after this meeting. So most here on Eco Schools, equal split, it looks between YRE and LEAF. Excellent. Few eco campuses as well. So this is the expansion of our eco schools program into higher education. This is fantastic. A few people here are putting that they're eco schools as well. Fantastic, brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, so we can see here we've got a global audience. We've got lots of people with different different kind of roles within environmental education. So without further ado, if we could go to our next slide, please. I'm going to pass over to Daniel Schaefer, who's the Chief Executive Officer of FEE. And Daniel's going to give us an official welcome message to today's webinar. So Daniel, over to you.
Thanks so much, Lee. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel Schaefer. I'm the CEO of the Foundation for Environmental Education. And for those of you who can actually see me on the screen, I'm the one who said that I was using shampoo 30 years ago. Today, we're celebrating the 30 years of the experience in running eco schools and YRE programs around the world. Over those years, these programs have become a movement that's grown exponentially from just a few European countries in 1994 to over 90 countries from all corners of the earth today. We have heard and are hearing in ever-growing voices from within our network the call for the processes and approaches happening within the eco schools and YRE programs to be used in the transformation of education itself. This means that good education systems should have education for sustainable development, ESD, embedded in it as a necessity and not to be seen as an extracurriculum activity. In 2022, 836,000 people signed a petition calling for universal quality climate change education as part of the Running Out of Time relay that was partnered by FEE and that took place from Glasgow, which was the host of COP26, to Sharm el-Sheikh, the host of COP27. In September 2022, the UN Secretary General announced the Greening Education Partnership, GEP, which aims to build from the knowledge and practice accumulated in the field of ESD, with ambitions targeted to green schools, curricula, teacher training, and lifelong learning by 2030. In many ways, this has been a decision that has echoed the petition of all those that signed that petition from the running out of time relay race. With the ambitions of GEP Pillar 1, the ambitions of GEP Pillar 1 target to accredit at least 50% of all schools to a Green Schools program, we at FEE, as coordinators of this pillar, are deeply committed to supporting this green transition in education as ESD and climate change education travels from the margins to the mainstream. We have the established and proven programs, projects, and tools to support teachers, schools, civil society, as well as government and international partners to reach the targets set for the GEP. Our strong belief and commitment are based not only on our 30 years of experience in greening education, but mostly on the countless more years of experience held between our member organizations worldwide, ready to show not just what needs to be done and why, but also how it works in practice. During today's webinar, we are proud to be joined by our champion teachers from 16 countries who will tell us in their own words how they have achieved transformative change through the EcoSchools program. I would like to extend my congratulations and thanks to these amazing professionals who are a lighthouse in greening education, demonstrating to us all how to walk the talk. We will also hear today from our young leaders who are extending ESD into their own communities through Young Reporters for the Environment program. Think critically, take responsibility, look for solutions, act, and by doing so, develop a sense of ownership and belonging. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and I hope we enjoyed this webinar very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, what I'd like to do on that note now is welcome our keynote speaker for today, and that's Eric Giardi. Eric is a climate scientist at the Institut Pierre Simon Laplace in Paris. He's a professor at the University of Reading in the UK, and his research deals with tropical climate variability, El Nino, oceans and climate change. Eric is also the lead author for the 5th IPCC report, and he also contributed to the 6th report. He's president of the Office for Climate Education under the guidance of UNESCO, and this develops climate change education resources and professional development for teachers in support of education systems worldwide. He's also a member of the Scientific Council of the French Ministry for Education and sits in the Ethics Committee of the CNRS. Eric, over to you.
Thank you very much for this introduction, and thank you for this invitation. I'm really glad to be here and sharing some thoughts about climate change education. And as Daniel was putting it, is clearly one of the defining challenges we're facing now as an educational and scientific community. First, I'd like to say happy birthday to Faye. It's very impressive to be 30 years old. It's both old and young, and clearly we can all feel the energy of the amazing FEE team worldwide and the different programs. And clearly at OCE, we value very much the close collaboration and strategic partnership we have with FEE within the GEP. Right, so next slide, please. So I think this quote of Stefania Giannini remains at the heart of all what we're doing and trying to convince the whole United Nations environment on climate that if absolutely we need education if we are to address the climate crisis. And clearly, as Stefania Giannini regularly coins, education is the most transformational climate adaptation action. Next slide, please. And this said, if there are lots of things to do, we still have facing many challenges. And in practice today, as was reminded earlier, there's too little is being done. Why is that? There are a number of reasons. One is that if you look at where countries invest at the moment, they prefer awareness, which is interesting and important, but doesn't have the transformating power of formal education. And in terms of budgets, formal education is 1/3 of public awareness in terms of investment. Another reason is that most teachers prefer other education for sustainable development topics compared to climate change. And here, if we take, for example, a study that was done by the eco schools from FAE a few years back, you see that waste and biodiversity are the vast majority of projects on climate was 2%. I think now it's up to 5%, which is good, but it's still quite low. Next, please. So why so little in practice? Well, there are different types of challenges. First, there is very low or almost no integration of climate change in curricula. Today, half of the countries don't have the word climate in their curricula. Now, luckily, and thanks to the JEP, this is changing fast. But if you look at terms of budget, this is even lower. There are, of course, also conceptual challenges. It's a complex subject that deals with a number of societal values, deals with emotions. So it's a difficult topic for teachers. And also the challenge of doing large-scale and long-term impacts. So the consequences of that and those challenges is that there are the teachers' willingness to engage is high, but the actual potential to engage is much lower. And in consequences, the competencies that the learners can develop is not up to the challenge. Next, please. So if we look at some literature review, and there's really a nice report that just came out a few months ago, which is just ED 2023, and it's on the right-hand side here. You can find it on the web. It asks the question, does climate change education work? And we start with the bad news that most of the time, no. And why is that? There are a number of barriers. The first one is that the content of when it is in the classroom, it is actually decontextualized from learners' daily lives. It seems very abstract, far away, not connected with the student's life. Second, there's a misrepresentation of individual actions for reducing carbon emissions. There's also more impetus on individual versus the collective. So there's a risk of depoliticizing this aspect. Third, the pedagogies are not always up to the challenge, and they prevent learners from engaging in critical thinking, analysis, evaluation, and they only provide one part of the overall educational challenge. And fourth, the place of the rights of nature itself and our links with it are not always part of the environmental education. Next slide. Now, the good news is that when it's done properly, it does work. So, and of course, this is where this recent green education guideline that was launched yesterday, showing the avenues to do that. And if we do it well, it leads to improvement to knowledge, attitude, and skills for students, where we know those 3 dimensions are essential. Again, it's the head, the heart, and the hand. It's really that combination that needs to be put in practice. Interestingly, also, there's more and more evidence on that. It also has an impact on parents and grandparents. The intergenerational learning effect, so children educating their parents or even grandparents, does work, not only for knowledge, but also for behavioral intentions. And as in many other types of education, like, for example, health education, the effect is stronger with girls. Next slide, please. All right, so what we should do? Clearly, the first thing is to make the goals of climate change education explicit. As I said, it should really focus on those 3, the knowledge, but also the attitude, the skills, and the values, which are really shouldn't be put under the carpet. It's really that combination. There are different kinds of competencies. There are those different competencies framework. Where clearly the one is understanding complexity. This is also about science education. Climate science or biodiversity education are complex, and they need to be apprehended in this way. And there are many ways to do that. The other one is to develop critical thinking, not fall into narrow views of the problem, of the challenge, and really have that systemic view. A third one is developing the ethics and the empathy, the relation with the others. And the final one, as I already mentioned, is the balance between the individual and the collective in thinking about the challenge. And again, the key to bring on strong science education, clearly an evolution of climate change education compared to just ESD is that strong science backbone and the role of active pedagogies, which can need tremendous work from the teachers. Right, and teachers, of course, are the heart of all this. They are I think, to me, today's heroes in our battle against this environmental crisis, but they need to be prepared and supported. And effective teacher education for climate change education has to be content focused. This is where the vague ESD is not helping. So focus on climate, focus on diversity, the biodiversity, then you can enter the other challenges. Incorporates active learning, supports collaboration, of course, use model of effective practice, that kind of empowerment of the children, provide coaching and expert supports. Teachers can feel a bit lonely sometimes, offer feedback and reflection, and is of sustained duration. We know now from experience, both at OC, but many other actors, that a teacher needs between 50 and 80 hours of professional development to be able to transform his or her practice to deliver this quality climate change education. Next, please. Another important part is in the narratives. There's a lot of anxiety, and a lot of teachers feedback to us that there's a lot of eco-anxiety. And we already have a role, both from scientists and from educators, to transform that anxiety to agency by building new narratives involving art classes, sports classes, and avoiding clearly the doom and gloom that most media and narrow views carry. Think about the images to use, and the narrative that you build. Again, the systemic view and how to act is key. And as I was saying, it's really an entry point to all the other topics that teachers are more used to dealing with, like waste, water, health, agriculture, ocean, gender equality, poverty, etc. Importantly, and really this is something that FEE has been championing, is that whole school approach, that so that the children don't fall into cognitive dissonance between what they learn and what they see actually happening in their school, but also in their environment. So that continuum is absolutely key. Next slide, please. So to summarize, I think we are facing amazing global opportunities, but many local challenges that those general principles are presented need to be, of course, contextualized. We're seeing that's one of the barriers that adapting that. So it is very exciting times, and I share Danielle's excitement about the Greening Education Partnership, and the OC is co-coordinating the Pillar 2 about the curriculum and the resources, and clearly together there's a lot we can achieve. Now, science tells us a number of things, but I think we should always remember to listen to the teachers and the students. Their experience has to be taken into account in whatever we develop, and science alone cannot make progress. It is important, but now, of course, it has a central role, and this evidence-based pedagogy also should be used, but it's not the only one. The systemic view, the role of the curricula, the involving all disciplines, not just a few scientific disciplines that should be invested, and that school and community, whole school and community approach is absolutely key. So again, professional development of teachers should be a high priority for most countries, both initial and continuous. Continuous is probably the first we should invest in, because the renewal rate of teachers is a few % per year. So this is really important. From anxiety to agency, the need to have new positive narrative. Positive doesn't mean we shove under the carpet all the tensions that this crisis creates, but equipping the youth to skills to be able to project themselves positively. And this is, for me, this is a shared ethical responsibility that we have, educators and scientists, but also it requires strong institutional and political leadership, and clearly to deliver that promise from the UN Reading education partnership. It's all of us that need to work together. And I must say, I'm pretty excited by the times we're entering. And I really want to acknowledge the huge role that FEE has played and will play in the next 30 years. So thank you very much again for your invitation.
Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you for sharing that with us. It's really interesting. And I loved what you said at the start there about that the teachers are our heroes that are helping us put all of this into practice. Really great as well to see that it's not just the science departments. We need to look at the sports department. And again, it's not the doom and the gloom, it's the positive steps we're making. And I think when we hear from some of our teachers later, we'll see a lot more of that. What I'm going to do now is pass on to my colleague, Olivia Copsey, who is also a Director for Education at FEE. And Olivia is going to speak to you more about FEE's role in the Greening Education Partnership and some of the work, just some of the work that we've been doing over the last 30 years. Olivia, over to you.
Thank you so much, Lee, and thank you very much, Eric, for your really interesting presentation there. And I agree, very exciting times. It's a critical juncture that we're at in our field of ESD and climate change education. Just move on, please. Next slide, Christina. So, and as we said at the beginning, we're here to celebrate. And particularly this year, our 30th year is coming at a critical point when the importance of climate change education has finally been acknowledged at the very highest levels, whilst the understanding of the need for the practical implementation in schools and communities has never been more stark. Next, please, Christina. So as Eric alluded to earlier, there's been some more and more data coming out as the interest in climate change education is growing, so is our understanding of where we are at the moment. And some figures come out recently from UNESCO showing that 70% of youth that they have surveyed say they have limited understanding of climate change based on what they're learning at school. And also, whilst teachers acknowledge the importance of teaching about climate change education, many of them say that they lack the confidence to do so, possibly because also, as Eric mentioned, not enough training is happening for teachers at national level. But I'm interested to hear from you participants at the webinar today. Just moving on to the next slide. We have a Menti question for you. So hopefully you still have Menti open on your computer or your phone. If not, there is the code there. The code at the top, 5990462. How confident do you feel currently in taking climate action in your school and your communities? And I think bearing in mind your experience with the eco schools and the YRE programs and FEE's other programs, we're really interested to hear from you in terms of what's your take? Are you feeling confident? Is there a lot more work to do? So these are really interesting, very interesting results actually, which can give us quite a lot of confidence in the way that we're in the work that is currently ongoing, understanding there will always be more to do, and the complexity of the issue that we're dealing with, climate changes, is ever changing. But it's really good to see that we're towards the strongly agreed, that we feel confident in tackling climate action in schools and communities. And given the proportion of you involved in eco schools, YRE and other FEE programs, that's extremely encouraging to see that. Thank you so much. Next slide, please. I think what this is really showing is that whilst we have a long history of experience in environmental education and climate change education, what we have is pockets of action pockets and silos, where climate change education has really been driven and led in schools by committed teachers, by passionate students, supported in the main by civil society organisations, often such as those which we work with at FEE. But not enough has been done to mainstream these approaches through education systems, and that's the recognition that was a catalyst for setting up the UN's Greening Education Partnership, and they aim to see the practices and experiences from programs such as ours mainstreamed through education systems worldwide, and then two very important documents released yesterday. I think we'll put the link in the chat to the Green School Quality Standards and the Green Curriculum Guidance for you to have a look at. If you can move on to the next slide, please, Christina. This is the Greening Education Partnership has a very stretching target for us all. They aim to expand the operations in programs such as ours to reach 50% of schools worldwide. This is an enormous target. It means that a lot of more resource will be needed. New partnerships at national and international level will certainly be needed, but most of all, what we'll really need is to learn from the experience from teachers, from learners in schools, to understand how does this happen in practice? What does it look like when it happens, and what's the potential for transformation when this occurs? So that's the reason for this webinar today, and we're really excited to hear from teachers and students in a few minutes. Next slide, please. So organisations such as FEE have been asked to mobilise their existing programmes and projects around the 4 pillars of the Greening Education Partnership. That means that our programmes, EcoSchools, YRE, LEAF, our FEE Academy online learning platform, are all going to be all developed and expanded to meet the needs within the 4 pillars: greening schools, greening curriculum, greening teacher training, greening communities. FEE are co-coordinating the greening schools pillar, meaning that an awful lot of our energy and our commitment is going to go in to try to support schools, governments to meet that 50% target. Next slide, please. So to explain our system, as Eric said, a systemic approach is needed. And many of you have already said you're working on the EcoSchools programme, which is a whole institution approach to climate change education and environmental education, where we have students, teachers, community members working together in a school to identify and prioritise their key challenges. They work with the rest of the teaching profession at the school to reorientate curriculum, subjects and learning around the key challenges identified. They work together to co-create an action plan. They monitor that action plan. They involve community members for intergenerational and local knowledge to make sure that's integrated. And then this goes into the daily operation of the school, and importantly, the governance of the school, understanding its role as an eco-school. For those students who show particular leadership in eco-schools and really want to move ahead to tackle more in their own communities, we have the Young Reporters for the Environment programme, and these young reporters choose a subject, they involve their communities, they try to understand it more, and they create a solution together. We also have the FEE Academy, the LEAF programme next, so teachers who particularly understand the real importance of connecting their learners to their environment, of helping them to understand their own role as part of the ecosystem on which they depend, and of doing that outdoor learning. We have the LEAF programme, which is another programme that we operate with long experience and a very big and important network in FEE. Then we have the FEE Academy online learning platform, where we develop new tools and resources. We had a recent climate change education course developed last year with OCE, and we're developing new tools all the time as new needs are appearing and we understand what's needed. So that's our way to try to constantly help you. And then we have Eco Campus, which is about taking the whole institution approach from schools and integrating it into higher education as well. So next slide, please. Understanding that we have a huge way to go together, that we have until 2030 to develop and deliver an enormous target. These are just some figures to show what our collective power is in our network today. So we have 14 million students, almost 50,000 in almost 50,000 eco schools in 98 countries currently. In 7 of those countries, over 50% of the schools are registered. So that's showing progress towards the Greening Education Partnership target. We have 183 higher education institutions in 18 countries. So it's an exciting, that's an exciting figure, but lots of growth still in the higher education to do. Our Fee Academy online platform currently has 7,000 users. Please check it out and join our courses. And then we have 300,000 young reporters engaging 4.9 million people in their own communities in 43 countries. So that's showing really how we're moving learning, climate change education and action from schools into local communities, how that happens in a systemic way. Next slide, please, Christina. So there is much to be done together. This really is to say to you that you are not alone, that FEE is here. We are developing resources. We have our programs. We have a lot of experience, and together, as Daniel said, with our members as well. We're here to help you to green education at your local and national levels. Let's work together to do it. We're excited. Very excited to see where we can go by 2030 together. Thank you very much. Back to you, Lee.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Olivia. And I think that's a great point to kind of move on there. We're looking at these huge numbers, this impact that we've had, and they're absolutely phenomenal stats that we've been able to build up over, like we say, a generation of great work. What we'd like to do now is kind of drill down a little bit into those who are doing it on the ground and celebrate those actions, especially of those who are putting it into practice. So we're really excited today to share with you who are our winners of the 2023-2024 Teacher Awards. Now, they don't know. There's a few people that do know, but not everybody knows if they've won yet. So this will be a big reveal for everybody. Of the entries, we had 46 that were shortlisted from 16 countries, but it's no mean feat to put yourself forward for a teacher award. In order to even be considered, you have to have been involved in one of our FEE programs for at least 5 years. You have to have received not only that, a green flag award if you're an eco school, or a LEAF award, or have had produced a YRE winning student. So this immediately, we're looking for the top of the top with these here. So I'm going to pass back over now to Olivia and Christina, and they're going to announce 17 people who have done some excellent work with their work.
Thank you,
so
All right, I'll take over. So yeah, I'm very proud to announce that we have selected a total of 17 teachers this year to be awarded, and I will present the first few of them. From the Americas, we have, and I apologize in advance if I mispronounce any of these names, but you know who you are, and yeah, you've done amazing work. So from Mexico, we have Octavio Cesar Jauregui Tapia, Maria Soledad del Rosario Logoso, also from Mexico, José de Jesus González Luna from Mexico, and Chengbi Salem de la Peña from the Bahamas. Huge congratulations. Over to you, Olivia.
Congratulations to those from Africa. we have Kwesi Bowen Nashampong from Ghana. We have Azea Esop from South Africa. And we have Esther Malungi Stansilos from Tanzania. Congratulations to you.
And from Europe, we have Ed Moore from England, Ramona Merciera from Malta, Olivia Lusic from Montenegro, Erika Tutek-Hovek from Croatia, Svetlana Selinchak, also from Croatia, Gulperi Faiz from Turkey, Nafiye Sikakik from Turkey, and Sevil Erkan from Turkey as well. Huge congratulations.
Thank you. And finally, from Asia, we have Chong Hu Fong from Malaysia, and also Liu Yin Yin, also from Malaysia. Congratulations so much to you, teachers.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. But can we just, I can see here on the Mentimeter, but can we just take a moment to just give all of our 17 winners and those that volunteered as well? It was very hard to shortlist, but can we give them a big round of applause? Can you please, I can see it's going crazy now on the Mentimeter. Lots of thumbs up. Thank you for the congratulations. We really, really appreciate the work that you've been doing. What we're going to do now is we're going to pass over and speak to three of those shortlisted or those winners. And we're just going to ask them to tell us a little bit more about the work that they've been doing. And they're going to share with us what a difference they've actually seen that the Eco Schools programme has made within their schools. Now, bearing in mind, these have been running the Eco Schools programme for at least 5 years. So first up, I would very much like to welcome Z Esop from South Africa. And Z is going to tell us a little bit more about the work that she's been doing at St Andrew's School and the impact of Eco Schools. So Z, I am very pleased to pass over to you.
Thank you, Lee. I just want to start off saying that we are so honored to have been chosen to speak today and to receive this award as well. Thank you very much. So we have been a part of the Eco Schools program for 20 years. This year will be our 20th year. And I think we are the second oldest school that's part of the Eco School program in South Africa. I've had the privilege of chairing our Eco Committee for the last 5 years, and it has been an incredible experience that allowed me to see firsthand the impact that our eco efforts can have. And I believe that our eco efforts work because we don't work in silos. We have a whole school approach, and this eco commitment is embraced by everyone, from the board members to the heads, to the teachers, students, the ground staff, our kitchen staff. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have the whole school approach to actually have impact. This collaborative effort has helped us to make significant strides towards sustainability. We've managed to successfully integrate environmental stewardship into every fabric of our school culture. And this, for me, I think is the biggest lesson that we've learned over the years. Our eco programs and activities have evolved slowly over the years to become quite an extensive portfolio. It's grown so much that we now have to submit our portfolio as a website. The Eco Schools program provides a very good framework to structure and to monitor and to evaluate all the programs that we have going. And it very much supports the whole school approach. And I think over the years, that is how it has become an approach that has been embraced by the entire school. This growth happened naturally, and I think a lot of it is to do, it started off with just trying to create awareness, but also comes in with role modeling. Many of our initiatives are now well established, and we are at a maintenance and monitoring phase in them. We, as a school, don't actively pursue new initiatives. Whatever it is that we take on seems to happen on a needs basis. And I think that this is the reason why our eco portfolio is so sustainable and impactful. We've learned that eco and sustainability awareness cannot just be driven by the curriculum. This is why our campus is a hive of eco-friendly activities. We have a robust recycling and composting programs, and these have even been used as a model for other schools. We are proud to say that we've been able to reduce our waste significantly. We also track this data from our service provider so that we can share the impact with our community. We also have greenhouses at the school, and we use this to practice sustainable gardening. We are able to grow our own plants and herbs, and we share this with other members in the community. We are also deeply committed to wildlife conservation. Our owl rehabilitation program is testament to this. We've also installed bat houses and bee farms on the school campus. And as you know, these play crucial roles in biodiversity conservation and pollinator protection. We also incorporate a lot more indigenous plant species onto our campus, and this has provided numerous environmental and sustainability benefits. The indigenous plants are drought resistant and adapted to our local climate, requiring far less water. South Africa is a water scarce country. These plants also provide food and habitat for the local wildlife. One of our plants, indigenous plants that we're quite proud of, is the speckboom plant, and it is incredibly effective at carbon capturing, and we've got that growing all around the campus. We also actively remove any alien invasive plant species on our campus. We have a number of vegetable gardens, as you can see in the picture, that's one of them. And these provide produce for a local soup kitchen, as well as our ground staff. In response to local environmental challenges, we've implemented rainwater harvesting and energy-saving measures. Our new buildings are solar-powered, and we're moving towards more solar-powered alternatives. We find that students often take what they've learned in school back into their homes, and this multiplies the impact. So to maximize on this, we promote and support events like Earth Hour and student-led initiatives in weekly assemblies. These presentations help raise awareness and educate the entire school community on environmental issues and significant environmental days. Outdoor classrooms provide our students with immersive learning experiences. We have eco clubs to increase students. Sorry?
It's okay, Z, it's fine. It was just somebody had unmuted. You carry on, please.
Oh, okay. Our eco clubs. So yes, we have a number of eco clubs in different phases of the school, and these are to increase students' environmental awareness, knowledge, and engagement. Our eco clubs organize educational campaigns and fundraisers to increase awareness about the plight of endangered species like rhinos. Currently, we have our entire school community, including parents and grandparents, knitting squares to make blankets for baby orphaned rhinos. We encourage collaboration in projects that prioritize topics on environmental sustainability, conservation, preservation, and global warming. In fact, last night, our grade 6 and 7 learners joined some schools in the UK for an online international chat that was titled Climate Change from Anxiety to Action. So it was so nice to see the thread come through today as well. And this was a wonderful opportunity for our girls to learn about what other schools are doing internationally to combat climate change. And as we heard the previous speaker speaking about integrating climate change, climate education into the curriculum, and I've spoken about a number of activities that happen beyond our classroom, but in South Africa, we are fortunate to have a curriculum that does this. And there are a number of examples that I could choose from, but my favorite is falls in grade 7 geography, which is my subject. And one of the major topics is natural resources and conservation in South Africa. And under this topic, we cover resource use, management, and conservation, as these are critical issues. I hope that this gives some idea of the impact of our portfolio. It's quite an extensive one. I've just sampled a few things to tell you about today. Looking ahead, our commitment to sustainability remains strong. We're excited about upcoming projects like our car park solar canopies going off-grid and the revival of our butterfly and insect garden. And we firmly believe, and this is throughout the school, that by nurturing the environment, we secure a brighter future for all. And we remain committed in our journey towards sustainability and environmental stewardship. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Zay. Is there anything you're not doing in your school? That's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much. And you can just see it's completely embedded in everything you do. It's wonderful to hear. There's lots of teachers in the chat all saying, please can we share? Please can we share? If you're happy to, Zee, if you wouldn't mind, if you feel comfortable to, if you maybe put your email in the chat and then other people can reach out. Teachers, please connect. Thank you very much, Zee. I will say as well, if we have time, if you've got some questions that you want to put into the chat, if we don't have time to answer any more questions, we will take your questions in the chat and share them with our teachers, if that's okay, to get some responses and share these with you at a later date. So let's move on then. Thank you very much, Zee, to our next teacher, who is Ed Moore from the UK. Ed, I'm going to pass over to you. And if you can, please, I know it's going to be hard to do because you've done a lot, but in a few moments, can you kind of summarize what difference you've seen from the Eco Schools programme and what it's done in your school, please, Ed?
Cheers, Lee. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Yeah, the Eco Schools programme has been phenomenal. It's really empowered our children to have the confidence to speak confidently about issues within the environment. It's fully embedded within our curriculum. The Eco Schools 10 topics fully embedded. They go through our curriculum like a golden thread. Every topic area is interlinked with all the subjects, and it's based around inquiry questions. So we do what is your favorite wildflower? Are the natural wonders of the world worth saving? How can we keep our oceans looking amazing? And then literally all our subjects are linked in with those questions. And here, this is our recent project that we've done over the last 12 months. So children went outside to identify the wildflowers and the trees that were growing in the school grounds, and then they journaled what they found, and they continuously kept on adding to their journal throughout the weeks. This also linked with our literacy as well, and then they gave tours to teachers, children, parents, other organisations, CPRE, the local town council, to share their knowledge of what they'd learnt. And then it didn't stop then. They also then rewilded an area just down the road from our school, picking wildflower seeds from other wildflowers, which then they sowed onto the ground. And we've had this beautiful wildflower meadow. And then this year we've raised £3,000. So the children have put together an information board to go in the what we know as the Damers Meadow in the community. So then they can then educate tourists, members of the public about what wildflowers and insects and birds they might see within this area. It's also got a QR code as well. So on that QR code, it has identification websites, apps, and sheets to help people to see and identify what they might see around them.
That's wonderful. And you've had a royal guest at your Eco School, haven't you, as well?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've had the King. The King's come. The King of England, King Charles. He's come to see the amazing work that we do.
It's fabulous. And I must say, a few years ago, I was interviewed by some of Ed's Eco Committee, the young students, and they definitely kept me on their toes. They wanted to know lots of questions. They're phenomenal. They're a credit to you. Thank you, Ed. We'll come back to some more questions for you later on. Congratulations. Thank you. And over to our third teacher for today, Mrs. Salim Della Piana. Salim, if you're there, please, we'd love to hear a little bit about the work that you've been doing with Eco Schools in Bahamas and the impact that Eco Schools has had on your school and your students. So over to you.
Good morning, everyone. And I'd like to say it's been a humbling appreciation and recognition for the work that I don't really want to say that I have done, but the entire school, and not just the school, but the entire country, to help us grow as an eco school. We have a lot of collaborations from our administration down to our community leaders and to our Anglican Central Education Authority. I don't know if everyone knows, but we are part of a four-school institution, and I'm proud to say that all of our schools are eco schools. And that's to say that it has been a very big impact in our lives and very important for us to be where we are right now is the fact that we have received tremendous support from everyone. And to start with, I would really like to say that the person who led us to where we are, the person who gave the spark, because they say it only takes a spark to get everything going. So the spark came from our beloved former principal, Mrs. Doherty. God bless her soul. And I don't want to be emotional, but I would like to give this award to her. She passed away, and I would have wished for her to see this, but she has been very instrumental to all of us. And from the past administration up to the one that we have now, we have survived as an eco school for 5 administrations. And that's a very big thing to say about the program. The program has allowed us to really thrive from one administration to the next and still carrying on and giving our best to do the achievements. The latest achievement that we have are the following. We have made sure that everybody knows in the school, it's a whole school approach from primary to high school. Everybody knows the eco code. You can go around even in our maintenance, even everyone in the school knows our eco code. And we are one of the top 5 winners of the Gaia 2030 Biodiversity Best Practice Competition. And because we have linked to other organizations like Brief, for example, is our national operator, and Brief has been very instrumental in making sure that we know about all the programs from FEE, and we are part of it, like the the Baton Challenge, the Global Action Days. We have also an external advisor here, Cape Grand Bahama Clean. We have Earth Care, Water Keepers, the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Tourism, all of those. I know the other 2 winners mentioned about how important it is to have the program incorporated in the curriculum, but I also would like to say, and I'm sure it is for everyone here, that it's very important to collaborate, to know to tell the community what we're doing. So if you see the pictures right there, we together with Keep Grand Bahama Clean. Keep Grand Bahama Clean is also very instrumental to make sure that we have exposed our children, not just in school, but in the community. So we have
Hi, Slim, I don't know if you're still there. I think if you're back, you're back.
Okay, I'm sorry. As I was saying, if you look at the pictures right here, where I was holding on this placard along with the students, and this is a community effort, it is really best to get going for Eco Schools programs if you let everyone to be on the same page so that you will work in one direction and you can be successful. So here am I, pregnant, and then on the last picture right here, you would see my baby right here holding on to the pepper. This is our last initiative. We have raised gardens for the little ones. So our approach is from the primary school up to the high school. And we would see in this picture, we have a very engaging citizen science initiative led by, in this one right here, led by one of our parents, who are very active parent member. And again, it's collaboration, it's getting everyone to be on the same page and perseverance. this parent right here has really helped us a lot, and together with the rest of the parents. And you see her child right there on this picture. So it's more like my sister, my brother going from primary to high school. So when they graduate from the primary school, they come to us to become members in the high school. And when they graduate, they get a scholarship from, we have, I don't know if you're familiar with the Island School, but it's a prestigious school here in our country. And we have a BEST, or an environmental scholarship program. And we already have sent members of Eco School to that program. And one of the members have already been part, and she is working in Brief. So I feel that the program has allowed us to come full circle, taking care of them when they are babies in the primary school, showing them how to connect with people, how to make programs, how to conduct surveys and everything. And then when they come out of the school, they are the ones now leading the voice for environmental action and environmental education. And I feel that as Eco School teachers, that is our.
Oh, Salim, I can see you've just had to mute. I think if we can, that is such a moving message. And I think many of us were putting in the chat there are first of all, our condolences to you. But we can see this is just, we know how much eco schools means to our eco coordinators and our students, and I think what you have just presented there is an absolute perfect representation of that. And this is you, it's not just you, there's lots of other people who feel so strongly. You have inherited a wonderful green flag school, and you've done your own phenomenal work with it, so we're very thankful to you. It's been a full family engagement for you as well, it looks like it as well, from birth right through to going peppers. It's
Yes,
absolutely phenomenal.
yes, ma'am. It's been, I must say, it's really a journey. It's a journey for us as a school, and like any other journeys, it has always its ups and downs. There are times when there's a lull, and there's at times when you have so much going on that you don't really know what to do first. And because the program is student-led, it has really been a very great impact on the students to become leaders. Like when you say leaders, they leading it, they're doing their thing, like they're thinking about what to do next. And so again, we have new projects, new initiatives, like we have the fashion show. And it's not here, but we have an eco fashion show which has been running on for 2 years now, and we have opened it to the public. We also have started our eco winter auction, and the persons who are there are also members of the committee, but we have again stretch it over to the rest of the school, so it's open to everyone. So it's something that we want to continue. We have a merchandise, we have eco school bags, so that will help us in maintaining our activities, because we have a lot of gardens. And I'm also proud to say, and it goes to everyone, once, like I said, it's a journey, it takes a spark. Once the spark is there, you have to just get it going. Because just yesterday, we were given by the power company a $500 worth of donation. And they say it's going to our greenhouse, and we have in fact put that in our wish list, because Keep Grandma McLean, which is our external advisor, was asking us for a wish list, and it's one of the wish lists. And I was telling the children, we have, persons giving us one of our wish list things. And that was yesterday. They gave us, and you know what? The cover for our hydroponics garden has been destroyed by the Hurricane Dorian. And it has been very difficult to grow plants like how we used to have, because we give it to cafeteria, we've been selling, and now our sellers are our primary school, because those are the gardens that have been thriving. And we said, we need a cover. And how much is the cover? It's 410, but we got $500, so we have $90 to spare. So I'm saying, when you do things consistently, touch to the children, give them what they need, let them lead, everybody in the community will know, hey, there is this eco school, and whenever we have something, whenever we want to give something, they know where to go. And
Salim, I'm very sorry, Salim. I'm going to have to. I honestly, and I'm sure everybody else here in the webinar would love to continue to
I'm
hear
sorry.
from you.
Thank you.
No, it's fine. Please, because I want to do exactly that. You know, it was a perfect. What you've just said there. Your last statement was absolutely perfect. You've kind of done my introduction for me, because this is what we're going to look on to next. So, if you want to put your email in the chat, and then other people can share and have ideas. So thank you very, very much. A big round of applause to all 17 winners and to the 3 of you who've also presented. I'm sorry we've not had chance to ask other questions of you, but we will collate the questions that are in the chat and we will make sure we will answer them. So going back to what Salim said, when we're looking at this idea of connection and leadership, just a few other things that we've been doing at FEE to help, not just with JET Pillar 1, but JET Pillar 4, which is about community engagement, is you can clearly see now, Eco Schools has been going for so long, it is spilling out way further, and you can see from our examples, way further than the school and the school grounds. And a good example of that is our Global Action Days campaign that we run, and we just ran last month across all of our nations with all of our partners, including the Scouts and ASP.NET Schools. And we had just under 500,000 young people, adults, parents, businesses, NGOs. We even had a coffee shop owner whose teacher had come in to buy a coffee and found out about the Global Action Days, taking part in 5 challenges to help them get ready for climate action. And they were distributed across 118 countries. And we had marinas and principalities working with businesses, working with NGOs, working with some of our blue flag beaches and green key hotels. Lots of green key hotels from Mexico were involved in this. And then we had our eco schools. And not only that, we had some young individuals. So if you can go to the next slide, please. The other programme that is also celebrating its 30th anniversary this year is our Young Reporters for the Environment programme. And it is a perfect tool to help young people get that confidence to research and to find out about issues in their local area. But not only that, it gives these young leaders, these young influencers, a platform where their voice can be heard and they can have a safe opinion. And we ask them to come up with solutions in their local community. And those solutions then are submitted to our national operators, some of whom are in this call here. They are then shortlisted, they get sent to FEE. This year we had 247 national winners, so we've had thousands and thousands more. We have national winners from 46 countries, which have just been shortlisted to 70, and we'll tell you more about that later. But these are young people who are leading change within their communities, not just in schools, but in their scout groups and their youth groups. And what I'm very excited to share with you now and to introduce, so if we can go on to the next slide, please. We have 2 of those young reporters, or they've left perhaps school now. And so first of all, I'd like to introduce Samira Axiak. Samira was a former Eco School student and a YRE student. And she has been absolutely wonderful young entrepreneurship. She set up her own thrift shop, which is absolutely wonderful, in Malta. Samira, or Sammy, is on the call now, and I'm just going to pass over to Samira now. But I will say, Salim and Samira, maybe you should connect when we're talking about fashion shows. So Samira, over to you.
Amazing. Hi, everyone. I hope you're listening to me quite well. I'm unsure if my microphone is working or not. Is it working? All okay. So, hi, my name is Samira, and as Lee said, I am an ex-YRE student and an ex-Eco School student as well. And now I have taken that knowledge to create a career for myself here in Malta. I am a content creator or an influencer, and I am also lately a thrift shop owner. We have a lovely pink thrift shop here in the capital of Malta called Valletta. We are super excited, obviously, since fashion here in Malta, I think all over Europe and all over the world, there is the issue of fast fashion. So I am very happy to be contributing to slow fashion now as well. Just to tell you a bit more about my work, obviously YRE gave me all the tools when it came to both writing captions, creating content, like taking photos and creating videos, how to edit. I learned it so subconsciously that when it came time for me to open my blog, I felt like I had all the tools needed for me to open up a blog, basically. To put a very long story short, because it was a very indecisive thing that I had to do. And basically, I took my passion. I also put sustainability in with my passion because sustainability is one of my many passions as well. And I found a way to make an impact while still remaining sustainable. And I chose the route of fashion sustainability. I became a content creator very unexpectedly. I was not expecting to build a following and actually for people to be interested in buying secondhand, especially that is what I mainly focus on. Not a lot of people are very open-minded when it comes to thrifting, especially coming from a small island like Malta. We are not very educated on the impact of fast fashion and all the wrong things in the fashion industry. But I am very happy to say that in the past 5 years that I have been doing this job, I am super happy to be seeing the younger generation being super interested in this, obviously in this culture, as you can say. When it came to my thrift shop, then I opened my thrift shop together with my co-owner, Maya Mifsud. She is a designer, I am a fashion enthusiast, and basically we joined forces to open up a thrift shop in Malta. I am very happy to say that now in Malta we have over 50 thrift shops, so it's not something that is not famous considering the size of Malta. However, we are the only thrift shop to accept clothes from the 1920s up until today. So we have both vintage and modern items. We curate every single piece that comes into our shop. We wash it, we take care of it, and obviously keeping it all within the theme of sustainability. If you have any questions, let me know. I would be more than happy to write maybe my username as well for Instagram. So maybe if I can help you with any fashion shows, I heard that some people have fashion shows. It is so interesting. So I think it would be super fun to maybe see the looks as well. Let me leave my username from my Instagram in the chat here on Zoom. So maybe if you want to connect with me, I would be more than happy to chat with you.
Samira, thank you very much. And I can see Audrey, who's our national operator from FEAM Malta as well. They're very proud of you. She's been putting in the chat here as well. And again, it just shows. Yeah, we all feel quite strongly about the work that you've been doing. And what was especially exciting and what I liked, Samira, about when we've seen the work that you've done is lots of our young leaders, we associate environmental action with science and STEM and technology. But what we're seeing more and more now is how we can embed this within the arts and within creativity. And I think you're a perfect example of that, a perfect role model for other young females as well, with this entrepreneurship, setting up your own business. And the skills that you've developed through YRE in terms of project management and leadership and confidence to articulate. So thank you very much, Samira. Like you say, if you want to put in the chat any questions that you'd like to ask Samira, please put in the chat, and Samira, if you'd be happy to answer. Thank you very much for joining us today. I know you've been very busy with a fashion show, so we greatly appreciate
we have Malta
that.
Fashion Week in 2 weeks and we're going crazy. But thank you so much for the invitation.
No problem. Thank you very much, Samira. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll pass over now to our second YRE student, so Adriana Hanshakova. Adriana, over to you.
Y hay de todos. Por ejemplo, este es quién sabe qué parte de Europa.
Adriana, if you would like to take the floor, please, and tell us a little bit about your experience with YRE, because you are an expert, I believe.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me here to this webinar, and it would be nice to share with you my YRE journey. I'm not sure if I have the slides there. Yeah. Thank you so much. So I was asked to present my YRE journey in very short way, which is almost impossible because I've been in YRE program for 11 years already. So I do not have even a minute for each year in YRE, so I need to be really short. But first of all, I need to say that the YRE program is very transformative program in my life, and I think the number of the years speaks to itself. I really love this program, and I can just guess what else I would do if my teacher didn't show me wiry program back in time. But to make it like very short, I chose some pictures for you from my wiry journey. These pictures there are like my first winning pictures back in time in 2014, and with these pictures, my wiry journey started. And when I joined the program, I was still like in elementary school, and now I'm finishing my university. So it's been a really long way. And I went through the different stages. I started as a student who make reportages about like local topics. I think I was a bit famous about wiry jury with the pictures with the ducks and litter, because almost every year I've submitted some pictures with the ducks, because I lived back at home very nearby the river. So it was very local based submissions. And then I started to help in Slovakia. Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned that I came from Slovakia. It's also important here. And then I started with like to help with the coordinating of program in Slovakia, and I've made several like interesting interviews during this journey. And I chose a photo when I'm interviewing our like Minister of Environment, like former minister in Slovakia, because it was like very interesting experience. And with these occasions, I was gaining a lot of communication skills. And I started to make some local journalism as well. I was like TV reporter in local TV during my high school. And then I've started to run like my local medium in my hometown, which it's still alive. And I'm trying to present through this medium like inspirative people and projects, and trying to bring some environmental topics into my region, where honestly is not a huge interest about it, but I'm trying like to greening my community through different like topics, different projects. And then I went to university, and like honestly, Wiry led me to choose journalism course, and because I felt, and I think I also feel now, that my role can be in media and communication. Those like very important topic as a climate crisis, or like loss of biodiversity and different environmental issues what we are facing for now. And I think it's very like the communication is very important, because we can face a lot of like alarming narrative in media, or a lot of like threatening, but we need to show people like positive examples. We need to bring them also solution how we can treat about our environment. And I think Wiry gave me very strong base for communication, but also through this solution-based approach gave me the hope. And because when I'm staying like active, and so I do not have like tendency to get climate anxiety, which is very spread it among the young people. And then thanks to Wiry, as you can see, I had opportunity to be a voice of the students in international jury, and I went to FEE office as an intern, which was very nice experience. And I really miss all of my colleagues from Copenhagen, and it's still in my memories. It's a very nice experience. But why I'm telling you all of this, it's not because I want to brag about how much I've done or how much I've done in this program, but I really wanted to show you very shortly how many things are hidden in Wiry, like behind the Wiry program. And I really appreciate that the program is very dynamic, and it has its own space, like for personal growth, but also creativity in its own way, when person is like very passionate and very engaged about it. So thanks for this. And to move on, as you said, the slide of my presentation, as I told you, almost half of my life is somehow connected to Wiry program, so it couldn't be different in my university. So thanks to support from FEE, I could make my own research in occasion of my master diploma thesis as a student of environmental studies. And the aim of the research was to find out like how participatory environmental education can influence students towards active and environmental citizenship. And as an example, I chose obviously WIRE program, and I did an evaluation research among the students and also coordinators and tutor in Slovakia. But I think for the fact that the program is based on the same international methodology, I hope my results will be applicable for other countries as well. And as you can see at the slide, like my main question was how involved parties interpret their participation in the WIRE program. And I came up with like 6 main categories, but for the purpose and lack of time for this presentation, I chose only one. You can put another slide, please. And I chose the category outputs from the program, which I called like, I know, I think, I can. And because I believe that students, through the skills which they can gain through the program, they can become really like active and environmental citizens who will be greening their communities, as we are talking today about. So first of all, I really liked how some tutor or coordinator named the skills gained from the program as a life skills package, which is very accurate, I think. And it consists of critical thinking, which was reflected by many students in Slovakia, also system thinking, for sure, journalistic skills, technical skills. It was very, very emphasized, like communication skills at itself, also teamwork and some leadership skills. But this is like very based on the personality of the students, I would say. And a lot of students who are involved like more years in row also emphasized some like self-efficacy, or we can say empowerment, because they didn't even doubt that they can be a part of solution in their communities on different levels, which was like very surprising but very pleasing to hear, for sure. And it also reflects their some personality and self-confidence growth. You can please switch the slide. And I named this that young reporters are really like some catalysts for the change in their communities, because they have enough skills, they have information, they are very well educated in environmental topics, and they have also the support from their teachers, from their like coordinators in national or international level as well. So thanks to this, a lot of students in Slovakia, but I know a lot of examples from different countries. They like became active citizens on different levels. Some of them are involved in different like community projects. One guy, as you can see the quotations there on the slides, he ran a municipality election because he was like very embraced in their position, like thanks to WIRE, and I'm just citing his words. It's not mine. And some of them are journalists, and they have impact through the media. So to sum up this research, as Eric presented at the beginning, the quote, which I really like, that the education is like transformational climate adaptation action. I would say another quotation based on my experience and my data from the research, that participative environmental education is a key to empowerment and then active citizenship. So thank you for the attention and having me here. And here is, I think, very nice quote from our students, because he told like the biggest motivation is to see how people from their communities can be also engaged in their projects and how they can like move forward the communities around them.
Adriana, thank you so much. You've not just given it an overview of WIRE from your perspective, like you say, that's been half your life that you've somehow managed to condense into just a few minutes on a slide. So thank you for that. But also giving us information on the research that you've done on WIRE and offering other view perspectives from other young reporters for the environment. I loved what you said about a skills package. And this is the WIRE program. We'd say it's reporters, but it's actually leadership. It is a year-long program. And I think You've just shown us that perfectly, and it's been really wonderful to hear about your talk. And I will say on behalf of everybody in the FEE office, we will have you back. Oh, come back, come back. It was wonderful with the research that you've done. So thank you so very, very much, Adriana, and thank you, Samira, and thank you to all of our teachers today. We're going to move to the last part. We're going to do a very, very quick Menti quiz with you because we want to get some feedback. We want to get that excitement from you. So we've got 2 questions, one linked to Eco Schools and one linked to YRE that we'll do very, very quickly. And let's capture some of that excitement we've seen today. So we'd like you to tell us, based on everything you've seen, why do you think every school should be an eco school? We've seen some great case studies today. So if you can put in the Mentimeter chat, if I can ask my team just to put the link to the chat back, the link to the Menti back in the chat, please, as well. If you can't get onto the Menti, then please do put in the chat. But why should every school be an eco school? What do you think are the benefits of it? Thank you. A sustainable future. Good ambassadors. I don't think good, I think excellent. Let's say we've got some excellent ambassadors here. It's a great, the framework, yes, isn't it true for those of us that have worked in education, how many things change constantly? The Eco Schools 7-step framework has not had to change in 30 years. It is fit for purpose. It is doing its job. It's flexible. It inspires and empowers, very good, not just the children in the schools, but also their parents, and as we've seen, their communities, because our young people deserve a planet. Excellent. We all need to work together. It's a better world. Action-based learning. Excellent. Yeah, action-based learning. Young people putting into practice what they're learning. We know from research that we've done that attendance and attainment within schools is higher within eco schools in some countries because of that focus that work's been doing. An eco-friendly generation, the whole school is approach and active. And excellent, yes, I think the last one before we move on to, and Adriana mentioned it before, to combat climate anxiety. The difference with our eco schools now, YRE and our LEAF and our FEE Academy and our FEE Eco Campus program, is it's about positivity. It's not looking at just that there are problems, it's looking at the problems and how people and our schools can be the solution. Okay, thank you very much for that. Can we go on to the last Menti before we do our wrap up? Thank you. And based on what Samira and Adriana have been showing us there, what skills do you think these wonderful young ladies have been demonstrating that they have developed through the Young Reporters for the Environment programme? What leadership skills do you think the YRE programme is building in these young people in order for help us get those leaders and that next generation? Confidence, yes, excellent confidence. I don't know how many young people you know of their age that will be able to come up and speak today in front of so many people and so eloquently and so perfectly. Confidence and green identity, voice, communication skills are excellent, and being able to put your thought across in the right platform and the right medium. Community-based, yes, community-based learning, looking at issues that are local to you and how you can come up with those solutions and those ideas, that innovation as well. Absolute confidence, critical thinking again, a collaborative. Yes, we do have the international YRE category, which is the collaboration category, where we have young people from around the world. I think recently, and I know some of our national operators were on, we had quite a lot of this year from Slovenia and from Turkey, young reporters who were working together on projects. Transformative action. Fantastic. Thank you very much. We'll end the Mentimeter here. We're going to wrap up today's session. In order to wrap that up, I'm going to pass over to our Senior Director of Education, Pramod Kumar Sharma. Pramod is going to close for us, and then I've just got some next steps for you to do after that. So Pramod, over to you.
Thank you, Lee, and what an amazing afternoon we had. Great examples from teachers, students who are doing the great work with the help of our national operators and members, and amazing insights from Eric also as an expert and a key partner in form of Office for Climate Education. What Daniel said, I think that's an important part, is that we ran a campaign, and then we succeeded in getting this process in place through the Greening Education Partnership. And many of you have said that and also put that in the chat and also in the Menti. Time has come to work together and let us act. And Adriana also said that can is the word, important word that is there. And Eric highlighted in terms of the call for action-oriented education. But I would like to say that as the largest network of schools, we and also young reporters and also LEAF members and partners and fee members as such, we have a big responsibility here. We have Paul, who was the lead consultant in development of the Green Quality Standard and shared the wisdom that he has, and we have as part of the EcoSchool program with the world and help them create that document. But then we have to do more. The document is ready. Now we have the experience and the tool to operationalize that document. We need to work together to help countries, schools, and other stakeholders realize the wisdom of that document into something which is real and achieve the accreditation of 50% school by 2030. One of the key things that was highlighted in a report that was also released yesterday, which by the greening by the GEM report, which is monitoring climate change education, was the fact that most of the effort is in cognition, and only 7% in documents or educational programs are talking about changing attitudes, and only 27 are talking about behavior. But we saw today that both EcoSchool and YRE are building those capacity to act. And it is all about behavior, and which cannot happen if you don't have the right disposition or attitude. So it is implicit that is built. So finally, when we say CCC, I think the key C words are in terms of connect and collaboration, which is the key word here. Without connection and collaboration, we cannot make a dent or an impact through education. And we need to bring, and if we need to achieve those stretching targets, we need to work together. The other important C was in terms of contextualizing to the situation on the ground. And some of the comments in the chat were also talking about contextualization, that how do we can relate and make it relevant. Otherwise, this is something which is for others, not for us, kind of thing, and a choice. And the last C from us is that now let's work together to create and translate that vision of a sustainable world into reality, and let our schools lead that charge and bring about the change into the community, and just not keep it with young people or schools, but act as change agents through them. And thank you all the teachers and students who are working hard, and basically we are using their success to sit here and share and celebrate 30 years. Thank you, and thank you for your participation, and looking forward to your continued support.
Thank you, Pramod. And our very last slide, that's not it. We don't want this to be a webinar where you've joined today, we've spoke, we've celebrated. We want you to go off and do more and be inspired by the people that you've seen today. So we know at the start there's some of you, if you are not a member of our fee network or our and not running YRE or Eco Schools, are not involved. If you are a school, please head over to our fee head office website, where you'll be able to see if there is a national operator in your country running the programs, and sign up, get involved, take part. If you have found this webinar useful, tell everybody, please let everybody know, share on your social media, share some of the inspiring stories that you've heard today. Go and speak and go and tell your eco committees about the great ideas that you've seen. If you are already part of our fee network, we have one, well, actually everybody can do it. And if somebody can put in the chat for my team, from me here, we have 70 shortlisted YRE young winners for this year. Young Adrianas and Samiras, they want your votes on our exposure website. So if you can spend 5 minutes, please just go after this session, go on to the fee exposure website, where we've shortlisted some of the phenomenal entries that we've had. We've got ideas about space waste. We've got ideas about invasive species. Absolutely wonderful articles. Please go over and vote. And then if you want more from us, of course you do, we've got lots more happening. So coming in autumn, we have another event that we have, which is a lesson plan award for teachers to share best practice, open to any teacher. We'll also be launching the YRE programme again for 2024-25. The theme for this year will be ecosystems restoration, as we are also working on the UN Decade for Ecosystems Restoration. We are also going to be having some webinars that are eco-school sharing sessions, so a lot more hearing from our schools and our teachers about what they're actually doing. And then looking forward to next year in the spring, we have our Global Action Days again. Again, the theme for this year for next year will be ecosystems restoration. We want to go even bigger this year. We're aiming for 1 million participants, and we need your help to do that. So we invite you to join those Global Action Days again. And I know some of you have already taken part. So if we go to our very last slide, because I think it's very important, thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining today. A big thank you to everybody who's presented today. We really appreciate your contributions. Thank you to everybody who's joined. Thank you to all of the comments in the chat and for being such an active audience and the positive comments that you've had from everybody. And here's to another 30 years. Here is to, in 30 years' time, our replacements, guys, who are going to be here talking about, and they will still be talking about, the Eco Schools programme when they celebrate their 60th anniversary. So keep doing the work you're doing in schools, keep doing the work in the communities. The difference you've made has been phenomenal. It is just the start of much more to come. Thank you very much for joining us. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
So much, Salim.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for
Thanks,
coming.
everyone.